Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture is titled Plato and the Lunar Alps. So, what do we see here? Well, here we see a close-up of our moon and just a very small portion of it. The large crater off to the left is the crater known as Plato. It is a very flat-bottomed flooded crater that is very close to the Maria there. The Maria, the smooth areas around it, the large seas and oceans on the moon. Normally, when a crater forms, the floor would be a little rougher than this. It's been very smoothed out and leveled out by flooding from the interior of the moon billions of years ago. So likely flooded when the Maria were forming, which is usually in the range of about 3 to 3.5 billion years. The Maria themselves were giant impact basins, and that's what the Alps on the moon are. So the Alps are those mountains from the central region going down toward the lower right-hand side of the image. And they are mountains on the moon, which are material that was likely thrown up in the impacts that created the larger Maria. Now that's quite different than the Alps here on Earth. The Alps on Earth have been lifted up by the impact of two plates moving against each other. And those two continental plates collide, and where they collide, they push the material up, creating mountain ranges. It's where a lot of mountain ranges on Earth come from, is where two continental plates push together and buckle. And we do not have continental plates or any kind of plates on the moon. The moon is just one solid crust and does not have the same active features that our own Earth does. Likely that's because of its much smaller size, the fact that it would have cooled off and had a much thicker crust and unable to form plates. Now, of course, our moon is very much in the news right now with the Artemis 2 mission, which could take off as early as the first week of February. It depends on making sure everything is ready, of course, and there are certain launch windows, only certain times that we can launch this successfully. But as early as the first week in February, we could be sending astronauts back to the moon for the first time since December of 1972. Now, Artemis 2 is not a lunar landing. These astronauts will not be landing on the moon. They will be making a trip around the moon. So they will be heading off out of Earth orbit. And for the very first time again since 1972, when the Apollo mission returned to Earth. And this trip around the moon will mark our return to the moon for the first time in over 50 years. Now, it's in preparation for Artemis 3, which would be scheduled for a couple of years from now, which would actually land humans on the moon again for the very first time since that Apollo 17 landing back in 1972. So here we see a small portion of our moon. We've studied a few small areas of the moon. We've mapped a lot of it in detail, but there are still a lot of areas and a lot of things that are big questions about the moon that astronomers strive to understand. So that was our picture of the day, titled Plato and the Lunar Alps. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture. So until then, have a great day, everyone. And I will see you in class.